Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. We come to you from Dayton, Ohio, the site of the first four of the NCAA tournament. Coming up this week in the Buffalo Stampede, we're talking a lot of basketball. Great trip to Vegas for the Buffs in the Pac-12 Conference tournament. A win over Utah, a win over Washington State, and a tough loss in the championship game to Oregon. We're going to recap. And a Selection Sunday conversation with head coach Tad Boyle ahead of the Buffs' date with Boise State here in the first four. All this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
His way down against Cabus, spins on the racket, head fake goes off the window, counted, whistle and a foul! He might have just been encouraging himself that time. Orchestrates the offense off a double screen, downhill, throws the alley-oop, the catch and a slam by Bangkok Beck! I have seen man fly! Holy cow, he slammed that ball.
A hell of a job in that second half, especially after we didn't play as well as we could in the first half. Our offense was a lot better. Our defense was a lot better. We held them to 2 threes in the second half. Yep. Okay, it was a whole difference in the game, guys. A whole difference in the game. And we hit our +8 rebounding. We got them by 10. We held them to under 40%. You don't get too high. This is a short season. This is a short season. Boom. We got one more tomorrow night. We gotta take care of business on. It's not going to be easy. All right, great job, guys. 1, 2, 3, family.
Well, we say in the month of March, you got to survive and advance, and the Buffaloes are on to the semifinals of the Pac-12 Conference Tournament as they open up with a victory over the 6th-seeded Utes of Utah, 72-58. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Buffalo Stampede. We're here in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arenas. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, Scott Wilkie, my partner, Buffs Greats. It's always fun this time of year to get a victory, and Colorado played very well in this ballgame.
That was a fun game to watch, a fun game to call. Colorado really took control early. Utah made a run, came back, but second half, Colorado was in control most of the second half.
Buffaloes have now won 7 games in a row. They're as hot as anybody in the country. What's changed for this basketball team here in the last month and a half or so?
Tristan da Silva's been consistently good, which he was a little more up and down earlier in the season. Eddie Lampkin's coming on, and KJ continues to play at a very high level at both ends of the floor.
Eddie Lampkin was outstanding in this game. I mean, he, in number one, has cut down on his turnovers. He had 17 points. He had a CU career high tying 12 rebounds. He was a monster in the paint tonight, as physical as he was, battling with a couple of 7-footers in there.
Yeah, battling on the offensive boards, 5 offensive rebounds and assists, and Mark, production after you get the offensive rebounds. Second chance points are huge. Sometimes you get rebounds on the offensive end and it doesn't produce anything. Tonight it did.
Eddie's what, how should we say it? He's unconventional, isn't he? As big as he is, the way he handles the ball, he's different than a lot of big guys.
He's got good hands, and he's also very light on his feet for a guy of his size. And on offense, when he's aggressive and makes quick decisions, quick moves, that's when he's most effective.
Yep, and he was a monster in this one. KJ was 4 assists shy of having, by the way, a triple-double. I thought Tristan wasn't spectacular tonight, but the way he defends and the subtle things that he does, I thought he was a big part of this.
He guards Brandon Carlson about as well as you can. Yep. He's tall enough to guard that 7-footer, and he's light on his feet, gets out and defends the three-point line, which Brandon Carlson likes to do.
Buffaloes get the win, 72-58, move on to the semifinals of the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. Afterward, we heard from head coach Tad Boyle in the press conference. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
You know, the credit goes to these players. I mean, they're a veteran group who understand how to win, understand what it takes to win, and they made adjustments at halftime. And we had much better movement in the second half. We held them to 2 threes instead of 6, and that was the difference in the game because that we felt like that's the only way they were going to get back in the game was to make 3s. So and we got a 14-point lead in that first half and couldn't hold on to it. And but we stretched it in the second half to like 15 or 16, and then I think we went up 16 when Javon hit his free throw and then did a good job down the stretch. So really proud of our players, and these guys deserve a lot of credit for what they've done this year, what they continue to do, what we will continue to do this year. Because the more communication we can have, the better. And Washington State is a hell of a team. We beat them shorthanded in Boulder. They weren't at their best. They got us in Pullman, and we weren't at our best. So I think it should be a hell of a game. They got some good players. They're well coached. It's not going to be easy, but nothing's easy in March, especially getting the semifinals of a tournament like this. So we're looking forward to the opportunity. We're going to get a lot of rest, get these guys off their feet a little bit, and we'll get a game plan put together. I'm not worried about that.
There's the head coach, Tad Boyle, in the Pac-12 Conference post-game press conference. Buffaloes get the victory. Number 23 of the season, by the way. They've won 7 in a row, now 23-9, as the Buffs get a 72-58 win over the Utes of Utah, moving on to the semifinals now. The gold standard Tad talks about all the time. You hold the opposition below 40% shooting, Buffs did, and plus 8 or more rebounding in a ball game. They did. Colorado's 91-6 when they do that.
Yeah, almost unbeatable.
Yeah.
And tonight they were plus 10 on the offense on the boards. Good offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities, and Colorado, when they defend and rebound, it almost doesn't matter if you shoot well or not.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the game and have a chance to win.
The part of the scouting report coming into this one was guard the three-point line. Utah can be very good at effective shooting the three. Early on, you started to get a little nervous. They had, 6 3-pointers in the first half?
They did.
They ended up with 8.
Yeah, we would put the clamps down and marks. 35% of their points for the season come from three-point makes. So if you limit that, they struggle to score. And tonight in the second half, we only give up 2, and we won the second half by 12 points.
Bench points, by the way, or bench minutes, I should say, for Colorado were very impressive. Javon Ruffin came in. He had a big 3. The 2 young bigs, Hassan Diop and Banggot Dak, you might not see much in the stat line, but they continue to come in and be a big part of this team.
They're not playing a lot of minutes, but Banggot Dak, every time he gets in there, he makes a spectacular block or a dunk. And also, Diop has really improved during the season. Little things, better defensively in the post. Those guys are coming on slowly.
Scott, you know what this program was before Tad Boyle. I want to give you some numbers. 23 wins now. They set the all-time regular season wins list. They tie for 3rd for the most wins in a basketball season in Colorado history. They have won a game in all but 1 year of the Pac-12 here in the tournament. They're in the semifinals for the 6th time under Tad Boyle. I mean, I don't think sometimes fans understand what Tad has done with this program.
They don't. As a former player who played in the 80s and a guy who's been around the program, I have a great appreciation for Tad, what he does, and how he goes about it as well. I always have to add that in there. He does it the right way.
Yep. The Buffaloes who get the 72-58 win as they knock off the Utes of Utah here in the quarterfinals and meet up with Washington State in the semis as the tournament continues for the Buffaloes. Coming up next here in the Buffalo Stampede, we're going to catch up with a former Buff, Tyler Bay, the Las Vegas native, came to watch his Buffaloes here tonight in the quarters. McKinley tips it to himself, blows by the defender, throws the alley-oop. The catch right of the limb, and the layup is up and good by Tyler Bay. And that right there gives him 1,000 points in his career, and Colorado has taken a 3-point advantage over the Ducks here in Eugene. Well, there was nobody more electric in a Colorado uniform than Tyler Bay. Great Buffalo. He's been playing professionally here in Las Vegas, back in the Stampede. Voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. Look who we stumbled upon here. Man, you look good. How you doing?
I feel great, man. I've been just hooping. Enjoying the pro life, enjoying over the water.
Yep.
I've been good though.
Yeah, you've been over in the Philippines. Kind of take fans through since you left Colorado. You were with the NBA for a while. You've been playing overseas. Where you been? What's been going on?
Yeah, I went to Israel last year and then had to go to the Philippines this year.
Yep.
Philippines was good though. Like I loved it. It was a great experience. The people there are great. The culture is amazing. Hopefully I get to go back, but I don't know what the future holds. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Boy, we're traveling around the world. That helps you grow up a little bit, doesn't it?
No, for sure. It's also a good experience. Like,
yeah.
I feel like everybody should experience it, and it's a good experience.
What do you learn about yourself when you're traveling around the world? I mean, I remember when you got to see you, you're a fresh-faced freshman. You don't know, come here from sick of about what's going on, and now you're traveling the world playing pro basketball.
Nah, it tests your mental. You on your own. Like I said, it's a good experience.
Yeah.
But like I said, it tests your mental. Like, it tests out how strong you are mentally and how much you got to go through by yourself.
Yeah.
It's lonely, but the more you keep going, the more you play basketball, it's good.
How have you grown as a player, do you think, over the last number of years?
I feel like I've grown a lot. My game has expanded a lot from what I used to do at Colorado. Bringing the ball up, playing 1 through 4, shooting a 3. It's just different. Like my game has expanded a lot, but it has to. I'm growing. I'm experiencing different things, so that's it.
How is the game overseas, whether in Israel, in the Philippines? How's the game different than here in the United States?
It's super aggressive. The refs, they don't give you no calls. Like I said, it's super aggressive.
Yeah.
The guys there, it's a different culture, so you gotta get used to it. But other than that, it's just basketball. Just play your game and do what you love.
How much can you keep tabs on what's going on with the Buffaloes? You always checking out the scores?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, when I wake up, the game was 8 hours ago, you know, so for me, it's just like, you know, just keeping up with the highlights, keeping up with the Buffs, and, you know, making sure that I'm staying tuned in.
What do you think about the Buffs leaving the Pac-12, going back to the Big 12?
I think it's great, bro.
You like it?
Yeah, I like that. I like Coach Prime in Colorado. I feel like we got a good sports community.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
When you walk back in here tonight, even you played in these tournaments. What memories come flooding back?
Man, I miss it so much. Like,
Yeah.
I miss all this, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, for me, I just wish I took advantage of the opportunities and the memories, and I wish I would have stayed another year, for real, but, you know, it's just God's plan. So for me, I'm just, you know, enjoying the moment.
We would have loved to have you one more year. You look
for
fantastic,
sure.
brother.
Nah, thank you.
All right, keep up the good work. Good talking to you.
Of course.
All right, Buffs great. Tyler Bates cheering on the Buffaloes here in Las Vegas. We're going to take a timeout on the Buffalo Stampede.
To Cody, driving his way down the paint, scoops the left hand. Alley-oop, caught by Dak and a slam. Holy cow! He flipped it up with the left hand, and Dak exploded with a throwdown with two hands.
All right, fellas, that's a hell of a win, man. You talk about grinding out. That was a March victory. That was not easy. They're a good defensive team. They're a good team overall. But you know what? So are we. You guys got the heart of champions. And now we're getting a chance to play for a championship, which is what we came here to do.
Well, the Buffaloes pick up win number 24 of the season as they win in the semifinals, knocking off Washington State here in Las Vegas in the Pac-12 championships. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. You've seen her a lot on the Pac-12 network over the years. Ashley Adamson joining us here for a couple of minutes. Are you emotional right now in the last basketball broadcast on the Pac-12 network?
Yeah, you know, I am. It is emotional, and it's been an emotional couple weeks. I've been in Las Vegas for going on 13 days now. We were here for the women's tournament, which is why my voice sounds like this. But it is emotional, and yet I'm really grateful and proud to have been a part of this thing, and it's going to be a fun one tomorrow night. So talk to me tomorrow night. There may be a few tears, but right now I'm looking forward to some good basketball.
All right. How about this game here tonight? That was a backyard brawl out there, wasn't it?
It was a backyard brawl, and that was one of the best defensive games that I've seen. Usually when you say that was a great defensive matchup, it was usually thinking that, maybe it's just that teams weren't hitting shots, but that was just unbelievable. And Colorado, 8 straight wins. It feels like KJ Simpson came and sat on our set, and he said, no one believed. No one believed. And here we are. So I'm happy for the Buffs. I'm a Denver girl. My brother went to see you. He's out here to watch the game. So it's going to be a good one tomorrow night. The top 2 seeds gone on the final day.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody was expecting Arizona not to be here. Now, Wazoo was kind of a surprise team this year, but still was incredibly impressive. Oregon, Colorado. What's been your take on those two all season long?
Well, I would just say for Oregon, what we saw tonight against Arizona, they lose their best player. He goes out early, and N'Faly Dante, he's been riddled with injuries his entire career. He comes back and plays for his 5th year. For him to come back and impact the game the way that he did, Oumar Ballo was 5 for 5 from the floor in the first half. He did not even take a shot in the second half. So it was just an impressive, gritty win. Dana Altman was in tears celebrating with his players on the court afterwards. So you know this meant something to them. And now they've got a chance to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot on the line for the championship game as the Buffs will take on the Oregon Ducks. After the victory of the Cougars, we heard from head coach Tad Boyle in the press conference. Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
Well, this is a hell of a college basketball game. It wasn't the prettiest game by any means. It was a little bit ugly at times, but you had 2 teams out there just battling it and getting after it. And really, they're the best field goal percentage defensive team in our league. We're like 6th, but our defense has gotten a lot better over the last 3-4 weeks. I've talked about it, and we did a great job. We forced them into 19 turnovers. That's something that Washington State doesn't do very often, is turn the ball over. So our pressure, I think, got to them. That was part of our game plan. But so proud of these guys, just the fight and the grit that they played with down the stretch. And we made plays when we had to make plays, and we weren't at our best. I don't think Washington State was at their best, but you know what? I think we each had a lot to do with that. We had a lot to do with them not playing as well offensively as maybe they normally do, and I think they maybe had something to do with why we didn't play as well offensively. They got good players. They're well coached. They've had a hell of a year. We were better in the second half offensively. We didn't make as many shots as we normally make. We had some good looks, but again, they're a good defensive team. So as long as we're getting good movement, I think when we have trouble offensively is when we over-dribble the ball and we stand. And if we can get the ball moving, get our bodies moving, and get paint touches, whether it's down to Eddie, down low, or penetration and kicks, because Washington State's not a team you're going to come down and just run one action and score on. They're just too good. And you have to prepare to beat good defenses. We ran into a good defense tonight. We scored 58 points, and there's a lot of times we've scored 58 points and lost because our defense wasn't good enough. What I'm so proud of this team is we scored 58 and won because they were good enough on the other end.
Miles Rice, he's got to go north and south instead of east and west, like that. Yeah, he's just dancing on the dribble and using his body. Yeah, coaches would always tell me, I want you.
There's the head coach, Tad Boyle, after the Buffaloes get the semifinal win over the Cougars. We continue with Ashley Adamson for the Pac-12 Conference. Colorado this season. I mean, K.J. Simpson's been so good all year long, right? You kind of expected him to have great performances, but it's been the other guys that have come in and really been impressive for them, don't you think?
Yeah, and I will, one note on K.J. Simpson, I would say he just is somebody who, and I've talked about it with a lot of the guys that I work with, he could have easily been player of the year.
Yeah.
I think Caleb Love, you understand he's the best player on the best team, though he was held at 6 points tonight in the semifinals. KJ has been terrific, and you could also make the case that he's the most improved player as well. But I think Javon Hadley is someone that we probably don't talk about enough. All these guys on the Colorado team, Eddie Lampkin came on our set last night, and I'm like, are you auditioning for a role? He was hilarious. He stayed into the highlights. He was. We were showing him some of his own highlights, and he was like, oh. What? So it was, there's a lot of good characters on this team, and I just think, again, Colorado has sort of flown under the radar nationally. They haven't had the season early on that maybe a lot of people thought. Tad Boyle was not happy when they were picked 5th to finish in the conference in the preseason, and to see what they're doing, it's all about in basketball, can you get hot at the right time? Can you be healthy at the right time? And Colorado, 8 in a row, they're doing that.
You know what I think would have been a great feature on the Pac-12 network? To mic up Eddie during a game. Oh, he's talking all the time.
You know what? You should talk to the Fox crew. They should do that tomorrow night. That is a terrific content idea.
I asked him one time, I said, what are you talking about? And he didn't know. And I asked his teammates, what is he talking about? And they said, we're not sure either.
We're not sure either.
He's talking all the time.
Yeah. No, he is. And that's what makes this... That is what makes this sport, and that is what makes our jobs so fun, right, Mark? Like, we get to see and meet and get to know all of these incredible personalities, and Eddie's a big personality, but there's a lot of them out there. People always ask me, okay, you cover the league, who's your favorite team? We know you have a team that you is it Colorado because you're from there? And I always just say you cheer for people. You end up getting to know people and coaches, and you just end up cheering for people.
I always say we're in the interesting business, right? That's what we like.
Yes.
Friend, good
Very
to see you.
interesting.
Congratulations
Thank
on the
you.
great work you've done all these years in the Pac-12
Appreciate
Network.
you, Mark.
All right, Ashley Adamson joining us from the Pac-12 Conference and the Pac-12 Network. Coming up next, the Buffaloes meet the Ducks in the title game. We're going to take a look at that ball game after we come back.
And welcome back to the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Selection Show. Okay, now we go to the 7-10 matchups in Indianapolis on Friday. The 7 seed, the Gators, who lead the nation in rebounding. And then here's where it gets interesting. Boise State and Colorado will meet in Dayton on the 10 line.
So Colorado bubble team played their way in with that win over Washington State.
Well, there's a big sigh of relief when the Colorado Buffaloes came up on the screen on CBS for the NCAA Tournament Selection Show. And the Buffs are in. They play on Wednesday against Boise State in Dayton, Ohio. Hi, everybody. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, head coach Tad Boyle. Okay, you can breathe now.
Yes, I can. It's been a long day, I'll tell you what. It was a short night, long day, and quick turnaround. Yeah. So I knew this would be a possibility of playing on Wednesday, and we are. But we're excited. You know, it's a new life. It's like being reborn.
You said to the team afterward, you said, number one, be proud of yourself, and number two, it's not easy to get in this tournament.
It is not easy. No, it's really not. I mean, if you don't get one of those automatic qualifiers and win your conference tournament, you know, and we were right there. I mean, with 4 minutes to go, it's a tie game, and we just didn't finish it out. Oregon did, to their credit, but so we put ourselves in a position where our fate is in someone else's hands, and that's always a dicey situation. We've been on the other side of that, as you remember, 14 years ago, which is no fun. So I was nervous.
You know, the one thing, though, Ted, you talk about, having your future in your hand, if you will. This team took ownership of that during that 8-game winning streak to put you in this position.
Absolutely. Yeah, you go back, I told the team, you go back to that locker room when we lost to UCLA in another one-possession, 4-point game, and we were as down as you could be. And a day later, we regroup and we come back from 16 down at USC to win a double overtime game, and then we got on a roll. And these guys have done it, and they've bought in, and they've dialed in mentally and emotionally. And last night, I should say, was a crushing defeat for us because we went to Las Vegas to win a championship. We came up short. But now we have a new life, and that's what March is all about. It's March Madness, and it's just nice to be a part of it.
Here's the good news, though, and you and I were talking about this the past few days in Vegas. You've got a mature basketball team here. So even though there is this roller coaster of emotion, down last night, up today, this is the kind of team that can handle that, don't you think?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely do. And I saw – so I think our players were nervous. They read stuff and see stuff, and, there's just so much uncertainty out there. But – playing against a Boise State team is I've watched them a lot this year. They're very, very talented, very good. They're well coached. Their coach is actually a good friend of mine, and you hate playing friends, but I know he's going to want to beat us in Dayton, and we're going to want to beat him. But here we go.
Yeah. It's going to strain that relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, for a little while. There won't be a lot of chatter beforehand or maybe even afterwards, but our friendship's more important than a game, I can tell you that.
This team has overcome so much this season. The good news is you're dealing with a team that's about as healthy as it's been in a long time.
Yeah. Julian's not quite back yet, but it's good to have Cody back, and we're healthy. We've got our bench guys are starting to really come around, and I've got a lot of confidence in them. So, it's good to have most of the hands on deck, and everybody's dealing with injuries to some degree or another. But it is a quick turnaround. We've got to, I think, emotionally make sure we're ready to go on Wednesday because Boise got beat a little earlier in their tournament. They've been at home resting, maybe a little bit more practice time than we have. But it's game on. When the NCAA tournament tips off, man, it's you got to give it your best shot.
Well, what you don't think about is you and the staff right now. You guys are scrambling. They're getting scouting reports done. I mean, This becomes a whirlwind because there's a travel day tomorrow. Then you play on Wednesday. It becomes a whirlwind right now.
It is a whirlwind. No, there's no doubt about it. And I just want our players to just, we got back late last night. It's been a long day. They probably didn't sleep well last night. I know I didn't. So get a good night's sleep, get a good day of practice tomorrow, travel, and then Tuesday, some more prep work, and then Wednesday, here we go.
You know what? This never gets old, does it?
It never gets old. This is why you coach. This is why you play. This is why you're a part of college basketball.
Tadpole and the Buffaloes in the NCAA tournament. They'll take on Boise State in Dayton, Ohio on Wednesday. And then the other side of that bracket, the winner will take on Florida in Indianapolis. That'll wrap up this week's Buffalo Stampede. The Buffs are dancing. We'll talk to you next time.